Hi, I'm Natalie Bouchard, and you're listening to Inside NC Labor, a podcast designed to inform and educate North Carolina citizens on the role that the Department of Labor plays in state government. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Inside NC Labor for 2021. We have a lot of changes going on at the department. We have a new Commissioner of Labor, Josh Dobson. We have some new senior leadership, and there's quite a few changes going on in the communications division. We have Jennifer Hagewood here with us today. She is the new Director of Communications and Policy Development. How's it going, Jennifer?
Hey, Natalie. It's going really well so far. I think we're 3 weeks into the new administration and the new team, and we're really busy, but we have a lot of exciting things going on.
Yeah, we definitely do. And we also have Dolores Questenberry with us, and you may recognize her familiar voice. She is a public information officer along with me here at the department now. How are you, Dolores?
Hey, Natalie. I'm doing great, and I'm so glad to still be a part of the communications team.
Yeah, so with this episode, we just wanted to reintroduce ourselves and talk about what's coming up for the North Carolina Department of Labor this year. As an overview, we're updating a lot of publications. They've got to have the new commissioner's picture and name and signature on them, like the elevator certificates, the labor law posters. We're going through some changes on the back end of our website. There's a lot of exciting things, but Jennifer, I want to ask you, could you talk about your new role and what your goals and expectations are for this new year?
Well, first of all, I just want to say the thing that I'm most thankful for is our communications team is in place from before. I'm so thankful for Dolores and Natalie. They are such a great communications team, and I am honored to be a new part of the team. I'm a veteran of the department. I have been here for 15 years, but previously served in government relation type roles. My first 7 years as a legislative liaison, and then the last 8 years as Director of Government Affairs. And then when Commissioner Dobson was elected, I was very fortunate that he asked me to stay on board in a slightly different capacity. We knew that Dolores was maybe looking at making some changes, but that I think she wanted to continue her work here with the department. And so that opened up an opportunity for me to do something new. And so here I am, effective January 1st, as the new Communications and Policy Director. Communications Director is basically what you would think it is. It's the role that Dolores had for many years before this year. Really, it's being the main spokesperson for the Department of Labor and for Commissioner Dobson. That I guess maybe is the most glamorous part of the job. Mm-hmm. But then there's a lot of other things that go on there. As Natalie mentioned, we're going through a lot of changes with the new administration. It's sort of unbelievable the amount of paperwork that has to be changed just because one person changed jobs. So our publications department, which is we're all a part of the same communications team, is really busy printing out those brand new elevator certificates with a fresh photo on them, with a fresh signature on them. We have all sorts of other external publications that are in the process of being updated. We have new labor law posters coming, and we just have a lot of things here on our plate in the communications division. Of course, we keep up with our regular activity. I'm getting my first employee newsletter and labor ledger, which is our external newsletter. I'm getting that first one under my belt, and there's no way that I could have ever figured out what was going on without Dolores and Natalie telling me what was going on. So,
and we need to add in here, if anybody listening today is not a subscriber, this is the perfect opportunity to sign up.
It's free.
Yeah, so thank you for that plug. Dolores and Natalie, when are we hitting send on the next one?
It'll come out bi-monthly, and this next labor ledger will come out at the end of January, beginning of February. February 1st here, coming up. Yeah, we have a lot of news, literal news. There's a lot of new stuff. So a lot of news in our labor ledger this month.
And that's what our job is to get the news out to the public, explain. You know, I remember when I started here, I really didn't know a lot about what the North Carolina Department of Labor even did. I hate to say that, but And I think a lot of people would say that.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal with the ledger is to break it down and explain to them how they could maybe file a wage complaint or file a workplace safety complaint. Just make it a little bit easier to understand the process.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's something that I'm excited about is, even though I know a lot about the Department of Labor and what we do here and the people that we serve, I've spent the last 15 years answering questions that come in from constituents, that answer questions that come in from legislators. So I know the mechanics of the department, the basics of the department. But what's interesting to me is how communications thinks about it from a different audience standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get the message out to just the everyday citizen who just doesn't need to have something put to them in legal terms, or they don't need to have the law read to them or anything, but how can we write it in a way that just the general person would understand and appreciate? That's new for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're great at it.
Well, I'm learning. I'm learning from pros.
Well, and the great thing is, like as you said in the beginning, you've been here 15 years, and so the transition really has been seamless.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I can't thank you all enough, because it has been seamless, because I have an existing team in place who knows what they're doing and is very competent.
We put on a good act.
Yeah, we really try.
But you all have, it has pushed me out of my comfort zone in several ways. Probably the biggest thing, which I have yet to really tackle in any meaningful way, is social media. As Dolores has mentioned many, many times, we are thankful to have the skills of Natalie, who is adept at social media and understands the benefits of social media and understands how to use it to our benefit and to the public's benefit.
Right.
So that's something that is a goal of mine in the future, is to learn how our social media interacts with citizens, and are there ways that we can make that better? Are there ways that we can expand that? And really, I'm coming from a knowledge level of about 0 on that.
It will come with time and experience. Our favorite millennial, Natalie, has
I'm gonna-
become our expert.
I'm going to change my title from Public Information Officer to Resident Millennial, because that's our little inside joke around here. But yeah, social media is a huge tool for us. And like Jennifer said, reaching the everyday citizen that needs information quickly and efficiently, doesn't want to sort through a bunch of government documents. It's a huge, really important tool for us and a lot of government agencies.
Well, and Jennifer, I think you'll find this. It's not always the easiest thing in the world to break something down so that somebody can understand it. It's actually it can be a hard task.
Well, and it can be. We're kind of going through this in a real sense right now, because we have a new Commissioner of Labor, and we have several wonderful new staff people here who are just doing an amazing job, and they're learning the department for the very first time. We here internally, maybe between the 3 of us or with other people who've been with the department for a long time, it's easy for us to talk in acronyms or talk in government speak. And just having to realize that people outside of this little bubble don't talk that way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And just let's break it down into layman's terms and just kind of start from this is who we are and this is what we do, and Rita, and according to Rita is not a lady that works over in the old revenue building,
and neither is OSHA.
Right.
But hey, that's why, not to sound like a nerd, but I love the AP Style book. That's what we follow here at the Department of Labor. And AP Style does not like acronyms for that very reason.
Right.
Nobody in the real world wants to talk in acronyms.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't even know what you're talking about. So when you say it, so spell it out.
Well, one skill that I do think that I bring to the division here, and not necessarily AP style specifically, but I do enjoy editing, and I enjoy writing, and I especially enjoy more kind of technical type writing. So at least you're not having to start from scratch with me on that.
So moving forward throughout the year, Inside NC Labor will be back monthly, and next month we plan to have Labor Commissioner Josh Dobson on the podcast. He's scheduled. I hope he's excited. We're going to learn a lot about his background and what he sees as the future of the department. So make sure that you tune in. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, iTunes Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a number of other platforms. So we're trying to make ourselves as accessible as possible.
Just plan to tune in to our next episode with Commissioner Dobson, because that really is an episode that you won't want to miss. He has a really interesting, really varied background, both educationally and professionally. I think he has a lot to share with us as far as his professional background, how he got from being a 22-year-old correctional officer to becoming the Commissioner of Labor. I think it's a really interesting story. I think he has a lot of really great plans for the department. So just encourage you to tune in.
Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. Remember, your safety is our priority.